Hello everyone, my name's Lunia and welcome back. I know quite a bit of time has passed since there's last been a video and I'm genuinely sorry that it's taken me this long. What happened was that at the beginning of this month, my entire family and we got really sick and it basically left us all pretty much bedridden for over half of the month, and only just now are we starting to feel better enough that we can resume our day-to-day activities and routine. There's still a few hiccups here and there. It definitely took a lot out of us, but ultimately I'm very thankful that we mostly got out of it unscathed. So for the past week and a half-ish, I've been devoting most of my time towards playing catch-up. There are a lot of drawings and projects that I had to halt during the time that I was sick, and I've been so badly wanting to get back into the groove of things. There's a lot of ideas that I really want to get out, and many of them, we're about to approach the holiday season, which means things are going to just be a bit insane from here on out until the end of the year. So who knows what I'm going to be able to fit in between all of the major projects. But regardless, I also wanted to jump on here and say thank you so much everyone for your unending patience for everything. Also, hello to new subscribers. I am very surprised that there was a spike in subscribers while I was gone. Hello, I hope you enjoy your stay. So, I had wanted to try something out a bit differently for this video. Instead of keeping my speed paint vlogs and my studio/packing vlogs as separate videos, I wanted to try and just combine them together to see how they look and how they feel. I've been finding that it's a little bit easier to edit the video this way. There's been a lot of clips that I've taken the past few months that I've always wanted to share, but I couldn't really find the right circumstance to put them in. And then there wouldn't be enough clips to kind of put them all by themselves. And sometimes for the speed paint videos, I find I have a little bit of trouble figuring out how much I want to say that will fit within the allotted time for the video. Whether it's too long or too short, usually it's on one extreme or the other and never just right. Doing this has essentially provided me the best of both worlds. I am provided the flexibility to be able to explain my art while also being able to share bits of moments in my day-to-day life. However, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Would you prefer that I keep my speed paints and my studio vlogs completely separate, or would you be okay with seeing them mixed in together? Or if you don't like any of the options and would like to share another idea of what kind of video that you'd love to see, please comment down below. I'm all ears. And so, now that we finish with this long-winded explanation, we can get on into the real thing, the drawing. This was drawn on behalf of August's coffee print. It was actually inspired by a request from one of my supporters who wanted to see cute interactions between baby Kitsune Sokoku. And I really wanted to work that in since I realized that I don't draw enough of baby or chibi-fied Sokoku in my monthly art prints. So we were trying to figure that out, and then usually whenever I draw anything kitsune themed, I really love to throw in hydrangeas, which is what I think took up a good majority of my time. I figured that using a painterly style would be best suited for this drawing, so I fell back on some of my favorite brushes to use. I use a combination of a Hardbrush, the Tinderbox brush, and the syrup brush. The hard airbrush is used for when I want to color in large areas at a time all at once. The syrup brush is for when I want to go in and shade a bit more detailed with having harder lines, harder edges for my shadows. And then ultimately the Tinderbox brush is really fine. It has a bit of a texture, so primarily I use it to draw my line art, but wherever it's needed, I'll kind of throw it in if I want to add in some extra fine detail for shading or texture. One of my current go-to methods for when I want to render or achieve more of a semi-painterly look is I add in my line art alongside my rendering, both at once. It's a combination of going back and forth. To explain, once I've locked down on most of the sketch, I'll start roughing out the colors. At this point, it's really rough, I'm just blocking and making sure I know what goes where, especially on the characters or where I want the focus to be. Now, with this drawing, I kind of added in an extra step. Once I blocked all of the colors in, I did a lot of color corrections by using the color graph, using the gradient tool, and using the color balancing tool, just to achieve that saturated blue, that gray, rainy day kind of feel for the drawing. And since the blues on the hydrangeas are so saturated, I still wanted to have Chuya, who's further in the back, still stand out. When planning for this, I wanted Chuya to be the first person that you see in the drawing. Then you slowly start to follow where he's looking at to find Zai and baby Sokoku interacting with each other. So to make Chuya more noticeable, even though he's further back amongst the hydrangeas, I made his reddish orange hair a smidgen more brighter and a bit more redder, like magenta-ish, so that he'll stand out a bit more, which I really came to love. The magenta color at the end, it blends so nicely with all the blues. And now with all of the colors mostly blocked in, I start to render. What this means is that I would pick one character at a time and jump back and forth between line arting them and rendering underneath the section that was line art. Both your rough sketch and your color block will help guide you on where you can place your line art. I find that this method has helped me maintain the energy in a drawing, especially when I am including line art in any way, and I run the risk of making the line art look too stiff and lifeless once I'm done. And then this step is repeated for all of the characters, which you will need to be patient since it does take some time, but once you get used to it, you'll be able to get faster at it without having to go back and forth to fix things as much. And now, the hydrangeas. They took me a bit of time to do just because there's so many of them, and I really wanted to line art a good chunk of them. You can tell when I got to the point that I was like, oh, okay, let's just copy and paste and do individual tweaking from there just to save us time and energy. Work smarter, not harder, where you can put your energy into the most important details. As a side note, I wanted to improve on how I drew my hydrangeas. I've drawn them quite often in the past, but I'm still very much exploring different ways that I can approach drawing a hydrangea in a way that I find satisfying to my personal taste and style. And so far with this one, I am using a mix between how I used to draw them in the past with a more pencil-y texture with the current brushes that I am using. So while this wasn't exactly what I was hoping to achieve, it still fits in pretty well with the drawing, which is all I can ask for. I will resume my hydrangea drawing explorations for another time, which might be sooner than you think, since there's a little project that I've been hinting at that I've been working on that might include hydrangeas that might be shared soon. Very soon. And so I repeat all of the steps that I've mentioned before for the hydrangeas. Copy and paste just to save our sanity, you know. There's not much sanity left, so we need to preserve all that we can. Thankfully, the ones further back you don't have to be as detailed as before, so you can kind of just quickly add color to just make it resemble hydrangeas. That's the hint. As we're nearing the completion of this drawing, I do want to say that we are approaching October, which means drawing challenges galore. I'm hoping to be able to participate again this year, most likely Drawtober, and I'll be just working with my own personal set of prompts since that's how I've always enjoyed it. Some ideas have been churning in the back of my mind for a while. I especially wanted to find a way to just combine all of the drawing prompts into one cohesive theme, and I think I finally figured it out. And as of recording today, I was able to go out and get all of the necessary supplies that I have in mind. I'm still planning to draw primarily digitally again this year, however, maybe with a bit of a twist. We'll see. I need to test it out first, actually, after recording this. Depending on how fast I can get the test done, I might share a preview or a sneak peek about my plans for Drawtober privately on my Ko-fi for my supporters. If you're interested in that, please feel free to follow me there. I'll put the link above and below. Small shout out to all of my supporters from Coffee. You guys are the best, and thank you so much for all of your support. It means the world. We are now approaching the end of this talking segment, so before I disappear, I wanted to say thank you so much everyone for watching this far. There's still a little bit more left, so I hope you enjoy the rest. Please take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you guys next time.